got the tough slot here. You guys had lunch. Everybody's going to have the Z-Monster on it, but I'll try to keep this interesting for you. I'm Joe Romans, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army, retired, 30-year career, at +4 with the Marine Corps. We got any prior service Marines in here? Well, that's great. I can use big words. I like that. Just kidding. I really am proud of my service with the Marines. I'm here to talk to you about financial readiness, but I'll talk about that in a second. I started in 1968 during Vietnam. I'm that old. Anybody ever hear of Harry Truman? He was president when I was born. True story. So we weren't beer drinking buddies or anything. You received from me. I want to ask you some questions as we go through. It's not just going to be about me talking to you about good financial readiness habits, because we need to kind of look at the overarching picture, the big picture, and also the micro picture. Now, I'm a volunteer briefer, which means I don't have a burning desire to spend more time away from home and mom after doing that for 30 years. I do this because I really believe in it. I work for, or I volunteer for, the USAA Educational Foundation. Now, I know you've heard of USAA, but I'm not here for that side of it. I'm not here to sell you anything or solicit anything from you. I'm here on the educational side, which is the 501(c) nonprofit side of USAA. Basically, their mission is to educate, period. That's it. So I won't take any questions about USAA on the commercial side, and I won't answer any. I'm not being obtuse, but that's not why I'm here. That's why the Air Force, the commander, all service branches in my 3-state area allow me to come in and talk to cadets about financial readiness. Okay? So let me ask you a question. How many people think Social Security is going to be there when you get to be my age? And if you wonder what that is, I'm 68. So when you get about the 60-80s range, show of hands, Social Security going to be around? Wow. No optimists in the group? Man, I wish I could say you were right. The fact of the matter is, the two big checks that Uncle Sam has to write are Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. By the year 2037, Social Security is going to start going broke, as in no money, nothing. Now, let's see, who am I going to pick on here? Cadet, tell me what Social Security is and how it works. Don't know, that's all right. How about you?
Sir, Social Security is a government program where when you reach a certain age, the retirement age, they take money out of your paycheck as a tax, and then you receive that money monthly paycheck to help pay for living expenses.
Absolutely right. So it's not an entitlement, is it?
No, sir.
You pay into that your whole life, right?
Yes, sir.
This came about after the Great Depression. Anybody in here ever heard of the Great Depression? Okay, so what they wanted to do, ladies and gentlemen, is they wanted to make sure when you get to be a gray hair like me and you retired, that your medical needs were met and that you also had a monthly income. So they instituted the Social Security Act. Bottom line is, what he said was right on the money. When you get to Social Security age 66, for me, it's different depending on when you were born, then you start getting a check every month for all that money you paid into all those years you worked. That's not a bad deal, right? The problem is, in 2037, Social Security starts to go broke. And that check will either have to get smaller or they're going to have to find some other way to fund it. But right now, they don't know what they're going to do. Who in here is excited about paying into something for the next 20 years and not getting anything out of it? I got one or two that thinks that's a good idea. However, there is good news, and that is there's a Plan B, and I'm here to talk to you about Plan B. Second thing is, in 1968, that young jarhead up there on the left, getting ready to go into his first deployment in Vietnam, was 18 years old, and I'm getting paid how much a month? I'm an E2. How much was I getting in 1968 a month as an E2? As a private. Take a shot. All you can do is be wrong. Try. How much?
18.
A month. No, we're talking. I tell you what, I would have gone in a lot sooner if it had been 18,000. How much do you think a month? 2,000. Okay. Anybody else?
$50.
50? Okay. You're getting closer. Yes.
150?
120 a month. A month. $120 a month. Right? Wow. Think about that. That's not a lot. Now I grant you that I smoked back then. I could get a pack of cigarettes for 16 cents a pack. What's it cost now? 5, 6, 7 bucks a pack, right? I could get a gallon of gas for 23 cents. A loaf of bread was 18 cents. You feel me here, right? You're with me? So even though I wasn't getting paid as much, stuff, have that removed later on. Even though I wasn't getting paid as much, things didn't cost as much. Now, since I was making $120 a month as an E2, what does an E2 make today a month? $1,380-ish a month. Now wait a minute. I'm making $120 a month, and an E2 today is making 10 times that. Does that mean E2s are 10 times better? What happened there?
Inflation.
What?
Inflation.
The I word, right? Inflation. Now why I want to drive this point home is this. That was 40 some odd years ago. Look at yourself 40 years from now, and if we're on the same inflationary curve, and oh, by the way, from 1900 until today, inflation has increased 2,500%. 2,500 in that 100 some odd years. You can't be thinking about today's dollars when you're planning, you're saving and investing, you're planning for retirement, because you're going to be woefully short, right? If I had started saving and planning back then for my retirement, I'd have been doing it thinking $120 a month wasn't bad. $120 a month now won't get me around the block. So as I start giving you the tools to create your retirement plan, you have to fast forward 40 years and think, what if stuff cost me 10 times more then than it does now? Let's take gas as an example. Now fuel costs have come down, but let's say $2 a gallon. Is that pretty close-ish? Let's say it's $20 a gallon. I told you I was paying 23 cents a gallon back then. $20 a gallon. So if you got a 20-gallon tank, how much money are you paying for a fill up? Huh? Whoa. Now, commensurate with that, your income's going to go up because all of our incomes have gone up. But I want you to get this when you're plugging in numbers for your plan, your retirement plan. You can't use today's figures. Is that fair? Now, young jarhead there, going to kill a commie for mommy, whip his weight in Wildcats, because that's what the Marines taught me, right? My long-range planning window then was Saturday night. Yeah, I knew where to go get a cold beer. I had a pickup truck, a hound dog, a shotgun, and a girlfriend. Was that not the American dream or what? Now, I know you guys are laughing, but I also know that some of you are living on a week-to-week, month-to-month plan. Now, I get part of that because you're young. You got to eat ramen noodles for lunch every week to get that money for going on a date Saturday night. I understand that. But you also need to start right now thinking about when you're my age. Nah, man, I can always make more money. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okie doke. Now, I got out of the Marines. I kicked around for 10 years. I go back to the Army at age 28. Stay in the Army for 26 more years. Now, at this point, about halfway through my career, I am a platoon sergeant. We're in the Gulf War. We're getting ready to roll, getting ready to attack. And my youngest son had just been born. So I've got 4 kids and a spouse. You guys, who's married in here? 1? Okay. Do you have children? Not yet. As you start finding Mr. or Mrs. Right, and you get married and maybe kids come along, that is a game changer. Right now, it's me, myself, and I. And that's all the financial concern you have to have. But when you have a family, that changes everything. So we'll go more into that in a minute, but even at this point, where I'm not quite 40, I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. Here's an interesting statistic for you. 60% of Americans are going to hit retirement age at age 66 with less than $35,000 in the bank. We'll get back to that. So here I am with 4 kids and a wife. I got 6 mouths to feed, but I'm not worried about it because I get a check from Uncle Sam every 2 weeks. Got my medical and dental taken care of. I haven't even begun to put any thought into this stage of my life when I'm older. It hadn't even occurred to me to do that. So I basically threw away a lot of years that I could have been saving and investing. While it's true that you can make more money, what is something you cannot replace is time. The big advantage you guys have right now is your age. If you start doing something about retirement right now, you are going to have way more money in the bank when you retire than any of your peers. I didn't do that. I was almost 40 before the light bulb came on for me. Now I'm doing okay today, but I had to play a powerful lot of catch up, and I'm not where I would have been had I started at your age. Okay, clank, clank on the tank. Got to tell you this. You know, in the Army, you've heard the term hooah probably, right? Hooah! You heard that, correct?
Yes.
That means a lot of different things. It means yes, it means okay, it means cool, it means groovy, whatever. Now in the Marine Corps, it's hurrah! It means the same thing. And the Navy is hoo-yah! So I was talking to a C-130 squadron, a lot of young airmen sitting up front, and I kind of went through that, and I wasn't being sarcastic, I really didn't know. I said, so what do you guys say in the Air Force? And they're kind of looking at each other like that, and this young A1C held up his hand, he said, Sergeant Major, we say per diem. I said, yeah, I like it, awesome. Well, I did come to find out it's fly, fight, and win, all right? So I got that now, and I'll know in the future. Nice thing about that tank is I can park anywhere I want. You're laughing, but I ran over a car on Highway 8 there. Wasn't supposed to, that's another story. All right. Now, I told you families change everything. My youngest son had been born while I was in the Gulf War. That's him on the right now. I just put that in there for fatherly pride on his first Afghanistan deployment. All my kids are grown. 3 of them are serving, 1 Army, 1 Navy, and 1 Air Force. But at this point in time, I'm not just thinking about my retirement, I'm thinking about what my kids are going to do when they start launching their lives. They're going to be going into college, one thing and